How's it going, everyone? KayneHunterTaker here, and welcome back to an episode of Kayne's Hideout. Thought I'd squeeze one in before Halloween, and thought I'd dress up. I'm wearing a Cobra Kai uniform because I love the Cobra Kai series, and I thought it'd be Stingray, or try to. I didn't realise this wasn't a button. It's only got one string, and it's down, lower instead of up here. I thought it was like a button, so if I tied it up, it would have just been like that. So I realised I had my Cobra Kai shirt, and I thought, alright, I'll whack that on and have a costume for this year. And so talking tonight, there's going to be a lot of a bit of Halloween stuff that I've done, and because I haven't done an episode over a month now, so there's going to be some things, and then you'll see, now it's October and Halloween. A few years ago, me, Luke and Dad, we got into Star Wars X-Wing, and we were sort of having a good time with it, but at the same time we weren't sort of understanding. We thought, we're doing this wrong, la la la, but we decided we fancied getting back into it again, and then we learned that the second edition now, and it's changed the rules a bit. But after picking up some new ships, and we bought these updated rules and cards for certain ships, we had a round and we had a good time. So we're really getting back into that, which is awesome. And here's a fitting theme. So for Halloween this year, I played a lot of Resident Evil fan-made games and had a really great time. And I've been working on my Jill Valentine drawing. I've finally brought that over to go through digital drawing it. All I did was take a picture of the drawing or sketch that I did, stretched it out, and just started going, and I'm really happy with how she's turning out. I haven't done too much drawing because I've just been focusing on my Halloween marathon, but looking really good, and it's exactly how I've been wanting to do my style. And very happy to once she's finished, moving on to the next one. I finally got my hands on a Gold Sculptor's model kit. I've been wanting this for the longest time. I love building these model kits, and I really wanted this one because I want to use it in my Yu-Gi-Oh videos, especially my new one, like my new cards that I pick up. So finally, and I'm going to get to building that at some point. TV and movies. Sadly, I haven't watched too many horror movies this year. I'm going to save up for Halloween because on the Monday, it's when I start my holiday from work. So once that day hits, I'm going to just binge watch my favourite movies and then watch a few random ones. And in saying that, I have watched one sort of Halloweenish movie. I feel like I watched something else and I just didn't write it down. But I'll tell you, I'll just start from the top. I've been watching that Andor, and I've been really enjoying that. First 3 episodes were a bit slow for me. It was Book of Boba Fett again. We got to learn what happened in the past, and then we know what's going on in the present. I'm glad they uploaded the first 3 eps and just got that out of the way, and then just focusing on, the action of the series. And I've been really happy with it so far. Really liking the character. Just bringing back X-Wing. So I bought all these new ships and was organising the cards. I decided to have a Star Wars marathon and watch the original trilogy again. New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And that was a fun day. Just going through X-Wing and getting it all set up and organised and watching the movies in the background. It was a really good day. And finished up Star Wars Clone Wars Season 3. Man, when Tarkin showed up, I was like, holy crap. This is what I keep forgetting about the Clone Wars, is so many characters that you eventually see in the original trilogy of Star Wars. And I thought that was a great reveal for him. I thought, who's this? Because they were trying to break into a prison that no one escapes, and they find a Jedi, and there was these secrets or plans, and he told someone else, so they couldn't just rely on one person to, if he gets captured. And it was Tarkin, and I was like, holy shit. The Back to the Future movies trilogy is complete, so I finally watched the first one, the second one, and the last episode, and rewatched Back to the Future 3, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it is with sort of cowboy settings, and I feel like I enjoyed this one just a little bit more than 2. 2 was great, but it just felt like it was very jam-packed with, this timeline, you have to go back to this certain point, but then if you don't do it this way. But the third one, really enjoyed, and my mind blew at one scene. It was when Marty was in the bar and I forgot the villain's name now. He rocks up and he starts trying to start a fight with Marty, and there's a particular moment that plays out where he's like, it's like he calls him by his name, like his Western name, and he doesn't like that, and he's like, I'm not gonna let some. How does it go? Yellow belly gotta trash. And I remember many years ago, like when I was a kid, like 5 years old, that with VHS tapes, that at the beginning of some of those tapes, there was always a disclaimer talking about the rating systems. What's good for children. PGs, children over 15 or something like that. And I remember that moment in that advert, and if I can, I'll find I think I did find it eventually and commented it. I need to find it again, and I'm going to put over this video because I was like, I remember that. Holy crap. So yeah, that was a fun moment for me.
That you're listening to Truth or
especially not some duded up, egg sucking gutter trash.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Friendly as criminal as I.
what do you think, Frank? I called the
Make a
telephone.
better choice. Ratings advice. Use it. It's on every video.
Okay, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. I was very surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. It was really good. I had a great time with it. How do I put the makeup and just the overall design of all the characters was really well done. Like, it was, whoever was in charge of that did a great job. The scenery was really good, and it just really, I had a really great time with it. And a bit of a what's the term? A bias for me, because Hansel is the actor who plays. I can never remember his name. I actually really like the actor, Hawkeye from Avengers, and I remember watching him in SWAT in like 2003, and I thought he played a really good bad guy in that, and I just like the character, like the actor in general, and he played a really great role in this one. One of my favourite things was, because the whole thing with Hansel and Gretel, their father takes them away into the forest, they find the witch's house, it's made out of candy, and the witch keeps overfeeding Hansel, and he ends up getting diabetes, and he has to keep injecting himself, otherwise he dies or passes out. And I thought, that's a nice little, thing. Like, he ate too much candy, now he's got diabetes. Okay, on to the games. I've got a few pickups, and I've played a lot of games. So a big chunk of that is for the Halloween. So yeah, let's get to the first one. Been in the Mortal Kombat as a I'm a karate master. I'm Stingray. Picked up Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. I remember hiring this out back in the day when it first released, and burnt it onto my Xbox. And yeah, me and Luke really loved it. One of our favourite games, that's not Mortal Kombat in a way, not in the standard fighting style. And yeah, finally got a physical copy. And Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Never played this one. I played the hell out of Deadly Alliance and Deception, but by the time I got to Armageddon, I was so burnt out on it. I was much preferring to play the classics again, like the original Mortal Kombats, and Luke played this a lot and he loved it, and I played a little hour of it just to make sure the game was working, and I was hooked. I loved that story mode, and the create your own fighter was really fun. I wish more fighting games would do that. I know the new Street Fighter game's done that, and it's making me want to pick it up and play, because I love a game where you can create a character, take them through the whole game, and basically your own adventure rather than playing someone. I tell you what, if Resident Evil did that, sign me up. Got this one on sale. The House of the Dead and the House of the Dead remake, really awesome games. I remember picking one up, funny enough, back during the Xbox era, or maybe in the PS2, I can't remember. There was a House of the Dead game, and yeah, me and Luke played through that and it was really fun. But yeah, just thought I'd pick that one up just to play again, and now I got it for the Switch, and a really cool box. Yeah. So a game series I really want to try is Typing of the Dead. It looks really fun and lots of cheese, and I love my cheese. Finally arrived, Blood Rain 1 and 2 double pack from Limited Run Games. Yeah, this is going to be the last thing I order from them. It just seems like when there's a problem, it's very hard to get their help. Luckily, nothing wrong with this time. Actually, just on that subject, I'm still with the cards. So I got the really nice cards not being sleeved when they're being shipped. Come on, Limited Run. You can put some money aside to get some sleeves. They're very cheap. Start doing that, please. Now, this is a game I have not seen or heard of in a very, very long time. Klonoa. I remember playing the demo of the first game so much. Me and Luke, we were always going through that demo and just playing through it. Never picked up the copy of the game. We were happy just playing the demo. And then, yeah, just years and years later, physical copies are getting a bit more expensive. The Wii did a remaster of the first game, if I got that right. Klonoa 1, Klonoa 2, and yeah, I think it was released for the Wii, and this is where that's come from. Now it's on the Switch, remastered, and I cannot wait to jump in and play it. Something about this character that you see the character and you go, oh yeah, I remember that game, and just never picked it up. So it was a really nice surprise when I went into EB and saw that. I was like, oh my god, he's back. Alright, I thought I'd save these for last because I've been in a very, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil a little bit, Resident Evil mood. Been playing a lot of Resident Evil fan games for Halloween this year, and going through Resident Evil 4 recently, like doing a full run of that, unlocking the hand cannon, doing all the mercenaries for the game. A few months before that, did Resident Evil Remake. So this year's been a lot of Resident Evil for me, and it's no secret I love Resident Evil, but I'm ashamed to admit that I don't have Resident Evil for my collection. I have the director's cut of Resident Evil. Luke picked up a copy of this many years ago, back in like 05, so I was just, when I did a playthrough my channel, I just used his copy, and I wasn't so bothered about it because I had the director's cut. But I thought, this is my favourite game. I would love to just have the base game. And I'm so happy to have it now. It's one of my all-time favourites. I should have it in my collection. And yeah, the seller who did these does a really good job at keeping them well protected. They're still in the wrap, so I'm thinking I might buy some sleeves and... not sleeves, but protectors, and start doing that for a few of my games. And yeah, so Resident Evil, really awesome to have that. And just on that subject, Resident Evil 2. We actually own the copy, like the game. Our dad picked it up because he was big on Resident Evil at the time as well. When the first one came out, blew our minds. Oh my god, it was so scary. So he was all hyped up for Resident Evil 2, and he picked it up the day of release and was playing through that. So I decided to let Luke have that copy because he loves Resident Evil 1 to me is Resident Evil 2 for him. He loves Resident Evil 2. He's played through that one the most. So I thought, you have that one and I will pick myself up a copy. So yeah, Resident Evil 2. I should say, I already had Resident Evil 3. I picked that up a while ago now, a year or so ago, because when I wanted to do a playthrough of Resident Evil 3 finally, I thought, no, I want an own copy, because funny enough, Luke picked up that game many years ago, but ironically, that's one of my favourites. If I couldn't pick one, Resident Evil 3 is my favourite. And last but certainly not least, Resident Evil Survivor. And funny enough, a few of the games that I was playing are using Survivor as the plot of the game. And yeah, me and Luke, I think it was a shared copy. It was Video Easy, a video store over here. It's shut now, like Blockbuster in America. It used to be our hangout spot every Friday night, and every now and again they'd have clearance sales, so you'd come in, buy a load of games and all that stuff, but it was a very copy, so I thought, I want a proper copy of that. Now I have the entire Resident Evil PS1 collection on, collected for, so yeah, really awesome. And I'm just going to say right now, I had a few more games ordered, because I went a little bit crazy. It was my birthday, had some money, and I had some savers saved up. I thought, what do I really want? I thought, I want to buy a load of Resident Evil games that I need and want for my collection, and I'm waiting for some, but unfortunately something's gone wrong, and it looks like I might be getting a refund because the parcel can't be found. I won't go into too much right now, because hopefully by the next episode it's arrived. But yeah, me and the seller, we're like, oh my god, what's happened? Why is this? It's like something over here in Australia at the moment, there's like delays, and it got intense today because the seller's been really good. Like, I decided to take it into my own hands and try to find some information, but then I wasn't getting anywhere, so then I emailed them and said, oh look, do you mind stepping in now? Something's not right. And yeah, they've been trying really hard, and today they informed me that even after waiting a certain amount of time, by the time that rung the post company, they said, oh, I'll wait a couple more days. And I'm like, oh, okay, right, that's it, no more. So I had emailed them, and they finally responded, so I replied to that email, and I'm not guns blazing. Yeah, this is unacceptable. This is bullshit. I want you to find this parcel. I'm very, look, I don't know what's going on. We're being messed around here. I would like someone to find out what's going on. I'm not waiting anymore. It's been over a month. It should have been here a month ago. I want to know where this parcel is. And I got a phone call. So they phoned me up and explained what's going on. And in the end, I said, look, thank you. I just want to know what's going on. We've been emailing back and forth with you guys, but all you're saying is contact in a few more days. Tell me what's going on. And apparently there's a new post office being built, and that's what's causing all the delays. And I thought, that's all I want to know. So yeah, it's been a bit of back and forth, and if I do get it, I'm going to be really happy, but if not, oh, it's going to be a bummer. But yeah, so hopefully next episode I got those Resident Evil games played some more and finished Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Really fun, had a great time with this. And the last boss, I wrote it down, level 12. It was a really fun boss fight. You had to throw enemies at the screen because it was like a big robot looking down at you, and that was really fun. I will say I was bummed out with the challenges. I wish it was just one challenge where it's like, oh, don't get hit throughout the entire level. Oh, I tried and I couldn't do it. To me, that's not a fun challenge. If it was do not die throughout the level, that would be a bit better, but to not get hit. So normally I would, a game like this, I love doing the challenges. I didn't go back into it, unfortunately. Jumped into the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection. I did the arcade game, and yeah, got through that, which was really fun. And yeah, I want to do a couple of playthroughs on a few games. Me and Luke did Hyperstone Heist a few years ago, but I'd like to do Turtles in Time at some point. So yeah, a really good collection. I'm hoping that other companies follow in the footsteps of these guys, because this is what we want. We just want older games brought into a collection. Not asking for much. Capcom, Resident Evil 1, 2 and 3 on the Switch. But I'm hoping this opens the door for that now, where other companies will follow in the footsteps, and even other games in general. Just grab them all. I know it's hard with licensing and all that stuff, I understand that, but if you do have the opportunity, go for it. We will pay for them. I was annoyed with that because I didn't pre-order it. I thought, I'm not going to worry, I'll go on day one and pick it up. No copies. Gone. It was like they weren't expecting to sell them so quickly, and I had to wait a week to get a copy, so they sell. Playing some more Doom, finished chapter 2, and yeah, the next chapter starts off really mean. I'm struggling a little bit. You've got no weapons, but it's like you're trapped in the outside, but there's so many barriers blocking you, and you're trying to get away and find weapons, and yeah, I'm struggling a little. On the subject of Resident Evil 4, 100% completed once again, just like the PS2. Did the Mercenaries, went through the entire game, got the hand cannon. I've done an episode for that for this Halloween, and yeah, great game, and I cannot wait for Resident Evil 4 Remake. I was thinking, it's not going to be good. It's going to be Resident Evil 3. Haven't played it yet. Well, it hasn't come out yet, so I can't assume that it's, you know, not going to be like that. But from the trailers that I've been seeing, it's looking really good. I'm really excited. And guess what I finally jumped back to and finished? SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Pond Rehydrated. I did a video on all my Switch games, and I mentioned that I really want to get back into this game, but I got a bit flustered and couldn't remember what I had to do. But once I realised it wasn't an adventure game, and it was more of a do what you want kind of game. You know, it's not like Crash Bandicoot Twincinnatic where you're just going through a straight path. You can do warps like Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, not 1, but 2 and 3. Actually, it'd be a 1 as well. You just choose what you want to do and go through it. And I didn't realise that's what it was like. I didn't have to just go and do each level. I could go back and forth between each and get the gold spatulas. And once I realised that, I was having a much better time going through it, and I beat it. And really happy. Had a great time. I think that was the same weekend I was doing my X-Wing stuff. I was just playing through that and couldn't stop. I was like, oh, another spatula. Okay, I finally started Battle Chaser. I'm really having a good time with this. I'm loving the artwork, and the story is really, it's hooked me, and just the overall gameplay as well is really good. I mean, I've only played about an hour, so it could change, but yeah, I've read a few notes down. I read the book, so it filled me on the lore, so I already know who the characters are, so I've already got a bit of an attachment to them. It's funny, it has a lot of funny moments, and the art for this game is really gorgeous. And apparently there's going to be, you know, consequences, because I ripped a sign off a door from someone's house, and it's like, oh, they're going to remember that, so I'm wondering if they're not going to sell me anything now, because I did that. And old school turn-based, you know, it's not like Final Fantasy Remake or like those later games where it gets a bit flustering with the combat, whereas this is turn-based. You decide what you want to do, and that's what I like in an RPG. So far, I'm liking it. Alrighty, I started a Beer Walker Battle for El Dorado. This was a really fun little game. I didn't pay a lot. I think I got this on special for under $5, and I decided one night, because I think I'd finished a game. It may have been SpongeBob, or I was going through Doom and I was like, yeah, I'm done now, I might play something else. And I've bought a lot of the games on sale, and I just haven't got around to playing them, and finally jumped into this one, and I enjoyed it. I finished it. It's a very short game. It's not very long at all, but what I liked the most about it was it felt like I was riding an AT-ST from Star Wars, which kind of has the same... not the plot, it's more like Avatar's plot. You're on this planet and you're trying to destroy the natives, and then there's like a disease, and at some point you have to choose, do you stay with the humans, or do you side with the natives? And I went back and did both endings, and not to spoil, but it was the same ending, and I was like, oh, it's not really, bit of a bummer really, but it was really fun. I couldn't stop playing it, and the levels aren't long. It's probably 5 minutes max. You're going through each level. You're, not to say it's fun, but you're basically killing anything in your path. You're squishing things. You're seeing the blood come up from your leg. And there was a couple of unique missions, and I didn't know at first what I was supposed to be doing. You're walking through a base, and all the civilians are wandering around, and literally the first step, crunch. And they're screaming, and I'm like, oh shit, mission failed. And I was like, oh. So at some point you swap controls and you start moving the legs with the sticks, so it's like, careful, careful. And there's another mission with mines where you got to be careful from, not stepping on the mines. And yeah, one little thing I wish we could do a little bit more is customizing the mechs. And I mean, you're looking at it, I'll definitely have some footage going, I'll say AT-ST, and that's what it looks like. It looks pretty much like that, and there's definitely some inspiration, but you can only change the art for the mech, but you can't really change colours and everything. I wish we could have done that, so maybe there's a sequel in the future, we'll have that option. And yeah, I just wish I'd have that, just that little bit more customized for that. Alright, and after I finished Be a Walker, I started, and I'm going to have to look, VA11 Hall... I just got it, Valhalla. Christ almighty, I was trying to word that out, and I'm thinking, what does that mean when I was writing the notes for that? It just... Oh my god. I got it. Yeah, I actually wanted to do a playthrough on this, but I thought, nah, I'll just jump in and have a go at it for an hour, and yeah, it's really fun. It's my kind of game. I love it's a visual novel, but it's also a bit of interactivity where you're making drinks for the people, and there's points in it where it's like, oh, you can use this liquor and it gets people drunk even more. I'm wondering if there's going to be a situation where, because at the moment I'm only talking to people and it's a little bit boring, like it's not really hooking me just yet, but I'm wondering if there's a situation where guys like, oh yeah, I did this thing, but you're never gonna know, so then you spike his drink with a bit more alcohol and starts getting drunk, and then might start spilling beans. Oh yeah, I just killed a man. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm wondering if that's what's going to be like at some point. So yeah, I'm going to play some after this when I record this, and hopefully, you know, picks up a bit, because get the feeling shit's going to hit the fan. And I played a load of Resident Evil fan games. So I mean, I've got my playlist all up, but did Resident Evil 1 Containment, Ep 1 and 2. That was really fun. I had a great time with that one. And then did the Resident Evil 4 hand cannon, where I just did the last level and got that, which was a really fun thing to do. Dayman 1998. I didn't like it. It was fun to begin with, but if you watch the video, you can tell when I'm starting to get really bored of the gimmick, if you know what I mean. One of the cool things was reloading your gun, loading the bullets individually into each clip, and if you get into a situation, you drop the clip quickly and load another one and make sure you pick it up again. But after the first 10 times, it gets a bit redundant. It gets very boring. And then I got really frustrated with a puzzle, which was very tedious as well. And at the end of it, I was just like, yeah, nah, I'm done. I've had my fill for this game. It's not for me. Didn't enjoy it. I only did the demo as well, and that's how I ended it off. I thought, oh geez, it's, you know, maybe it's just that mission, and I'm not exactly the smartest guy on the planet, but when a puzzle is that difficult, it's kind of dampens the atmosphere a little bit, and the clip as well with the gun, just, yeah, that gets really buoyant. I believe, if I have it right, there's different difficulties, and I picked the hardest one for Halloween. But I think if you did easy, you didn't have to worry about that. I'm not too sure. I never looked into it, but basically, it's not for me. And I know the story behind it. It was like people working on Resident Evil 2 remake, and it got shut down by Capcom. Capcom then hired them to make this game. So, you know, it was great for them, but the game for me just didn't do it for me. Resident Evil: The Arkley Chronicles Chapter 1 and 2. This was fun. I had a great time with this game. I didn't want to stop playing, because what this game, you know, you're playing different members of STARS, and your alphas, Kenneth and Forrest. It was so much fun. There was different endings, and going through each chapter so many times and trying to find all the special endings and stuff, and I'm looking forward to more chapters of that game. I hope the creator keeps working on it. It was really fun. Now, this is just a coincidence, because I originally picked up Resident Evil Survivor before playing the games on, you know, the fan mod games. So Resident Evil Survivor, I played a demo of this one. So Resident Evil Survivor is a first-person light gun shooter. The creator who did Resident Evil Containment has brought that into the Resident Evil 2 engine, so it's not a first-person light gun shooter anymore. It's just like a Resident Evil 2 game, or Resident Evil original trilogy game, and yeah, that was really good. I hope they finished that, because it was just a demo. And Resident Evil Survivor Prison, it's in the Survivor universe. You're a prisoner escaping, and it's the prisoner, I believe, left a note in the base game that you find, and yeah, that was really good. Now, originally I had this game on my list to play for Halloween, but I hadn't planned on doing Resident Evil games. But Heaven Dust is just Resident Evil 1 and put into a new game engine from a big fan from what I was playing from the game, they love Resident Evil, and it was really fun. A few puzzles got frustrating, and yeah, it was a really clever puzzle though. Sorry, this keeps falling down. It was a really clever puzzle, but I was just too dumb to work it out. But yeah, I actually want to do a full run of that at some point. It's really good, and yeah, they love Resident Evil just as much as me. And the last game I played is Save Room. This is really fun. If you like organising your case in Resident Evil 4, this game's for you, because this entire game is just working out how to put your guns and items into a specific space in your case and trying to fit them all in there and moving on to the next level. There's 40 levels, and I went through it in the entire night and had an absolute blast. I want to see more of that. It was really fun. Alright everyone, that's the end of this episode of Kayne's Hideout. Yeah, just very short this one, because I was focusing on a lot of Halloween things, and yeah, the next Kayne's Hideout probably gonna do a lot of stuff now, because there's still a week to go for October, and I'm finished up for my Halloween stuff. Now I'm editing and uploading, so next episode I'm probably going to be watching a lot of movies now and doing a few other things like my drawings and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll end it there. Thanks all for watching. I hope you all have a scary Halloween, and I will see you later.